Second now. And we're live. Welcome to the Dash Force News Free Amigos podcast with myself, Joel, and Brian. It's great to be back after such a fantastic week. Sunday, we had the Dash Force conference in London, not too far away from me. And then on Monday and Tuesday, we had the World Blockchain Forum as well. I'm sure the guys are excited to see me. I'm excited to see them. We've got so much to catch up on. How's it going, guys?
I'm here. I got celebrating with my pumpkin spice latte like a good old white girl.
Okay, I've got some pear cider on the go. That's right, not apple, pear.
And Brian's got a gat in the background, as per usual.
And Brian's got a gun.
It's fake. Don't worry. Don't trigger anybody.
It's a paintball gun.
Actually, I've just realised I've not opened the live pop-up Q&A chat. So hopefully we've got some viewers already. I see we've got 9.
Yeah. We got Albert, and he just says dat PSL. Hashtag PSL, dude. Come on, let's be real.
What is PSL?
Pumpkin spice latte.
Very nice. Very, very nice. Right. Let me get this live Q&A up and running.
Yeah, there's no Q's and therefore no A's.
Yeah.
I did see we had a 160 terahashes, which just seems crazy.
Yeah,
it's going way, way up.
Oh, there you all are, you beautiful people. Look at those comments. McLovin. Oh, Scott. I've got to tell you, Scott's a cool dude, right? But in person, he's
I think so.
Cooler. And
who won in the arm wrestling competition between you two?
Well, I'm not sure we had the gun show. I think Brian would have won that with the guns. But I've got to say, Scott is a very remarkable man. And after the conference, a collective of us came back to the hotel where me and Jeff were staying. And we sat down and we had August and Jacob. And I was just listening to the advice that Scott was passing on, like the knowledge that he's acquired, or business experience that he has, and passing on to these 2 new young whiz kids that have taken the Dash community by storm like a whirlwind. And yeah, it was really great to see. And it's kind of weird meeting people in person. One thing I didn't really anticipate, people coming up to me asking for selfies and stuff like that. That was a bit weird. But this is what I was talking to Joel about the open house, because we talk to people via video chat all the time. We're remote workers like Cora. So when I got to meet people like Jeff Coingun and Chuck Williams and things like this in life, when you actually see them in 3D, it's quite weird. But then I was just thinking, wow, people are looking at me this way as well. So I'm thinking, I hope I don't disappoint anyone. But one thing I have to say is that there were so many people from the Dash Nation Slack, from the community that came along, and everyone was just awesome. I didn't meet one person that I didn't like. Everyone's on the same wavelength. Everyone's kind of got the same ideals, philosophy, and we were just sitting down, and yeah, I got to meet so many cool people. And
I don't know though, that Canadian with the poofy hair looks a little bit sketchy. I wouldn't trust him. Here is a Monero fan. I saw a Monero sticker next to him at the open house.
Yeah, kind of. I wish I packed my clippers. That could have been some fun. But do you know what, guys? I know people saw the photos from my Twitter, and it looked like we was having a lot of fun. And looking back through some of those photos, it looked like we had a lot of fun. But I've got to tell you, the day up beforehand, because you guys know I went up the day before, it was freaking stressful. So literally on the Saturday, the day before, we went to set up the rig to test the live stream beforehand, and there was a problem. And the problem was that Jeff kindly flew over all these mixer and equipment in these big plastic hardcore cases to the hotel, and we plugged them all up. But because of the voltage difference, you plugged it into the wall, and what do you think happened?
He broke it.
So literally, well, there was no pop, there was no smoke, there was no nothing. So at first we thought, maybe it's a plug adapter. So we're going around, playing around all this sort of stuff. We think, maybe it's the fuse. And it was one of these sort of like Yamaha USB mixers. Anyway, so then we start panicking. We look at the time. It's 20 to 5 in London on a Saturday. We're all getting out our phones, trying to find the closest shop nearby that would sell mixers. And literally, we found this one place on Liverpool Street, and it was like 20 minutes. Normally, shops close at 7 p.m., but because it was a Saturday, they were closing at 5. So me, Coin Gun, and DJ Crypto, aka Nate Dogg, jumped into a taxi. I was on the phone saying, okay, stay open. We need all this stuff, blah, 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 blah. We're rushing for a taxi. And basically, the traffic was crazy because it was we were traveling from East London into Central. And the shop was called like Maplin Electronics or something. It's like a chain store here. And we knew they were going to close. So we phoned up the store and was keeping on the line. Was like, oh, we'll give you 20 quid if you stay open. It's like life or death. You've got to stay open. We get to the place. They're locked up. We bang in on the door. After we jumped out of the taxi, they let us in. And then the mixer that we wanted, that they said they had, they didn't have at all. So when they were packing, they were taking all the change out the till. These guys just wanted to go home. Jeff actually brought the mixer with him, and at that time we didn't know if it was something internally or if it was just a faulty plug or whatever. So then we're trying all these plugs and stuff. That didn't work. So then we're just like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? And then they said they kind of got like a big superstore on the other side of London that closed at 6, and they called through. So we ordered another taxi. So we jumped in taxi again, me, Coin Gun, DJ Crypto, and we're going, it's probably about half an hour trip in this taxi. It's the same thing on the phone again, keeping them on the phone. Please don't close. We're good. Don't lose it. And they said, oh, we've only got this mixer, but it's kind of like the display one. We're like, don't get rid of it. We need that. We need that. We'll pay extra. We need all this stuff. We get to the destination, and the taxi driver says, look, I've got to go around the one-way system, boys. Jump out here, run 100 yards down the road. You're golden. So we jump out the taxi. We get about 10 meters down. Jeff does like the Three Amigos dance. He's like, oh my God, I lost my phone. I left my phone in the taxi. And I was just like, Jeff, you didn't leave your phone in a black taxi cab in a black taxi cab in London. They're everywhere. That's just like, that's worse than a needle in a haystack. You're not getting
in the words of the timeless words of Gordon Ramsay, you donkey.
Yeah, and I can't tell you what Jeff said to me, but obviously he had things on that phone that he wouldn't want to lose, right? So he was just like, oh my God. And, I felt bad. But then at the same time, we're just like, what do we do? So I was just, we're just like, Jeff, get into the Maplin shop. And basically me and DJ Crypto were flagging down every black taxi to say, oh, wait, have you got a phone in the back, all this sort of stuff? I tried even calling the police, the Transport for London, lost property number and stuff. And it was kind of like, it's Saturday, call back at 8:30 a.m. in the morning. It was really, really scary. Anyway, cut a long story short, the taxi driver went around the block about 6 times. Absolute legend. And he didn't, I think Crypto actually stopped him before, but he thought Crypto was some kind of lunatic, just trying to rob him or something. But
not that he was wrong.
No. And yeah, we managed to get his phone back, and I've never seen a man so happy in his life.
Yeah, he had all the
I saw tears in
the Great American Pilgrimage funds on that phone.
Yeah. So although
kidding. Obviously he didn't.
I did actually I did actually joke with him and put the phone in my bag, like just saying like, you sure it was this taxi at first? And he was gonna kill me. He had his arm, typical Canadian, he had his arm in a sling from a bloody ice hockey incident. But he was like, it was so like literally, yeah, it was mayhem the day before, all sweat. And I have to say a big thank you to DJ Crypto Nate Dogg, because on the morning of the event, he came down to our room at 6 in the morning to help us load the taxi, because the Dash 4 swag, right? And I'm so lucky we took that along. And yeah, it was good. And actually, it didn't work out. So guys, the Dash 4 swag thing, originally how we were trying to envision how the event would be, and would be kind of standing by the entrance and handing out the bags and stuff as people were coming in. Well, when we got there in the morning to set up, it was like ladders, they're putting up speakers and all this sort of stuff. And we're thinking, where the hell are we going to set up the live stream? You know, we needed like an Ethernet cable, power source, well, multiple power outlets and all this sort of stuff. And it was like it was crazy. So we brought in these, you know, the big boxes of the t-shirts and the bags and stuff. But this was even before they set up the entrance to let people in. So I
saw the boxes. I saw the boxes from Box Mining. He did a cool little walk around there, and I noticed those. I said, "Oh, that looks like there are a lot of swag there." Yeah, nobody was stealing it, so that's good.
Yeah. Well, it was all gone. I think I went to check on it around like after lunchtime, and yeah, it was all gone. And I had some people on Monday saying like, "Hey, where's my Dash swag?" But there was like I think there was probably close to 600 people there, to be honest. But yeah, so we only had like 100 things. I wish I had more, but thinking about it now, like it was such a mission carrying all the equipment and those boxes. If I had 500 t-shirts, it would have taken like multiple taxis.
So what you're saying is you've been working on your guns at the conference, huh?
Yeah. So we were all Dash swagged out. I was really impressed to see so many Dash t-shirts and that sort of stuff. Anyway, guys, sorry, I've been waffling.
So interesting. Well, weird. One last crazy personalist question. You said it's interesting seeing all these people in 3D, which I never saw Jeff or Chuck before I saw them in 3D. So that was my first meeting with them. But of all the other people, whose appearance was the most different or striking than what you'd previously imagined?
Jeff.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why. I got in the taxi I got an Uber, and first time I actually ever got an Uber as well, and I got it at midnight, so I didn't even get to London until 1 in the morning. That's how far away I am from London by taxi. And Jeff kindly stayed up to wait for me outside because we were sharing rooms. And basically, when I got pulled up to the hotel, I've never met this guy before in my life. We speak all the time. We email each other. We joke around. And then it pulls up, and you've seen Jeffrey's hair. I see this dapper young gent with his like blazer on and his hair and his glasses and these things. And he's like dressed, you know, really, really smart. And I was just like, he ever still was like, "Mr. Mason?" And I was like, "Yeah, Jeff, how's it going?" It was just like, it was so weird because we talk to each other all the time. But I've got to say, everyone was really, really cool. Oh, yes. Joel, yes.
Okay, I'll take care. Hold on. Yeah, keep going the story. So he was way too professional for what you expected.
Well, no, I was kind of expecting to be in a fucking Mighty Ducks fucking top with his hockey stick, you know? Like, oh, that was a funny thing. Like, when I met DJ Crypto, the first thing he gave me was maple syrup. It was just fantastic. Absolutely brilliant. But yeah, everyone was so cool. I'm actually really sad. And the other thing as well, the YouTubers hanged out with us as well. Like we were the cool kids. So we had obviously Michael from Box Mining, and we had Omar, aka Crypto with an O. And
I met him in person before I ever knew who he was online too.
I have to tell you, I am really impressed with Crypto, like on multiple levels. We had some really in-depth conversations, not just about cryptocurrency, everything. He's such a genuine person. He's very thoughtful, and he's really caring, and he actually really believes in it. Like in my head, I mean, when I first found crypto, I think like many of you probably watching this as well, was when he was doing the live stream of the Miami conference, where it had the woman go up to the table, which had Ryan and also Jeff talking to him about Dash, right? That's when I first started following him. And we know he was inspired to create his YouTube channel from Amanda and the Daily Decrypt because she was covering Ethereum a lot back then, right? And he wanted to be the continuation on from that. But he really believes in the project as well. And he's just such a cool guy. He's very talented as well.
He did a great job with his. That's the one that I watched, the conference. I think it was probably the best one. I missed the live stream. Is that recorded, the live stream? I guess it is, isn't it? Twitch or something?
Yes, yeah. I actually finished uploading that yesterday. Do you know what? The processing and everything else. Yo, I love this guy.
Hey, Mark.
So this guy, so everyone was complimenting me on my polo shirt and stuff until Joshua broke out the shades. The Dash shade. Everyone was just like, yeah, I was like, where's the Dash swag? I was like, oh, the t-shirts are over there. Please help yourself. There's the large extra large. No, I want the shades. I was like, I don't have the shades, man. Like, I felt really guilty. But,
we need to make sure we get Scott on. I know he's been in the chat a lot. Let's get him on next week or something.
But Joshua, something terrible happened. Someone stole them. So I left the shades by the laptop because I was carrying around in my polo shirt a lot. I had to keep tucking around for the interviews and stuff. And I left them by the live stream laptop with Jeff, and then they were disappeared. So I saw Crypto and Jeff had a pair as well. And I think one of them may have taken them, but they're not admitting it. So like, I'm absolutely gutted, but like all the photos, all the compliments were just fantastic. And I've got to say,
I do like your glasses, Joshua.
Yeah, man, that's proper balling. And
also the dead people in the background. What are those? Are those old slain trolls or something?
Coming up on the month of Halloween. Those are pumpkin heads.
Wow.
I believe the month's called October, but yeah, I get what you're talking about.
No, for me, it's the month of Halloween. I really get into the decoration stuff. This weekend, we're going to put up a big rope spider web in the front yard with a giant spider in it and some styrofoam headstones and stuff like that in the front yard.
So I've got a question for Joshua and both of you two as well, right? So Joel, Brian, you watched the live stream, right?
Yep.
I watched most of it.
Joshua, you was right behind me, so I know you was there. Actually being at the event and all the speakers, the one person that really blew me away and really impressed me was Chuck Williams. He was on point. Did that come through on the live stream as well? Did that come across that well?
Yeah. He was, very good.
Hashtag boss mode. We need to get more speaking roles. Like, I wanted
I like that he's got that up. He's got that deep radio voice that really carries. What we're trying to do with evolution is build a platform that apps can get into.
Yeah.
Anyway, I won't be mean to him.
I ended up just saying to him, "Look, you just absolutely killed that. That was brilliant." Yeah. And I was basically shepherding him around the room, trying to get him as many interviews on the Dollar Vigilante, Jeff Berwick, obviously Box Mining, Crypto. Now, I did interviews with all these guys as well. They shot video interviews of everyone like all day. We were working the room hard, and I guess these guys are just editing the videos, and they're probably going to come out of the following days and stuff because they need to cut them up and post-process them or do noise reduction and all that sort of stuff. But it was great, Joshua. I mean, like, what did you take away of it? Because I'm sure everyone watching already knows, but Joshua is the man at Evolution. You're the front end dev, right? And
Chuck and I together work on the front end stuff. Yeah.
Yes. So basically, Chuck Williams talk about Dash Evolution actually being. We should look at it as a platform more than monetary. It's a platform, and I mean, what was it? Everything that you expected the presentation to be?
I didn't have a lot of concrete expectations for his presentation, except for just from my knowledge of Chuck. Like, he has a lot of industry experience, and with that, he has a lot of good perspective on like a high-level overview of what the project is, what the objectives are, and so, like, when somebody says we're doing a presentation about evolution, like the first thing that comes to mind is screenshots, but screenshots would have been kind of dumb compared to what we got, because we got an idea about like what the point of evolution is, what the objectives are, and where we are in terms of just like building it and creating it and how to think about it. And that's the kind of stuff that Chuck brings to the table, aside from the fact that he's a skilled coder also. Like, that experience really pays off in terms of just being able to step back and see what it is.
One thing I very much like about him, like that he has this holistic approach to everything, and that's one thing that's really, really lacking in the second generation cryptoverse, right? The first generation, like, Bitcoin comes out there with a great solid vision for, like, it's not just what does the code do, it's like what is it for, how does it improve society as a whole, all this stuff. And you got second generations to just come in and like, well, we'll tweak this and add this little special feature, and they kind of lose sight of the greater goal. And I think that's one thing that Evan has been really great at. Is Evan's one of the most holistically thinking people I've ever met in my life. He just sees everything and as far out as the implications can reach. He just sees it all. And then I mean, I don't know if Chuck is quite that level of genius. He seems pretty smart to me though, but he's got plenty of holism in there about how does this impact that and how does that impact this? How does that interface to the human beings, right? Because we can make the perfect technology, but who cares about technology? There's no robots out there that are going to be like, may as well serve our needs. Like, it's all for what it does for people and people's civilization, people's lives. And if it doesn't work for people, who cares?
Absolutely. And I think that's the interesting thing is people always forget the psychology angle behind it. And Chuck is such a deep thinker. We know he's a heavy reader as well in certain aspects. We saw those mind maps that he did beforehand.
Yeah.
I mean, he takes stuff, seriously, but he just attacks things from so many different angles where people just literally just want to hear the hype. He's actually just thinking about everything around it. So that was really, really impressive. Like Chuck, absolutely amazing. I really hope we can get him in the public more, because for me, he's really proved himself as a public speaker there. Joshua as well actually helped me out. I spoke to so many people about evolution and developers there. They were talking about merchants. There was one guy, do you remember talking to Daniel? Or I think was talking to a young chap that was a developer, not for Shopify. I keep getting it wrong. It was something like Magneto. Was it Magneto?
Was it Rafik?
Yeah.
Well, man, he works on Magento.
Magento, that was it. Yeah. So
that guy.
Isn't that a color?
And yeah, so that's a big platform. Like we talk about Shopify having hundreds of thousands of users. Like that's for heavy hitters. Like if you want to create a big e-commerce store, that's one of the options that you might use. So if we're attracting people like that and they want to know how to integrate Dash payments into there and they're asking the right questions, then I think that's just sending all the right messages. And the other thing as well is just like, there wasn't that many people from the UK in the conference. It was all international. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I was really, really happy to see. And it wasn't just.
It's the foreign invasion. They're taking over your country.
Yeah, well, it is London. But I mean, like, sorry, that's terrible, Jay. But I mean, like, it wasn't even concentrated. It was just people from absolutely everywhere. I was sitting next to a chap that owned a silver mine and owned 300 D3 miners. Like, honestly, people came from all over the shop, and
it's a rough time to be mining, huh?
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah. Although he wants to do like an ICO backed by silver because he owns a silver mine in Mexico, but like, yeah, it was just amazing to meet so many cool people, and the Dash Nation Slack community. I sat down like with all the main people, and we were just talking through everything, the announcements. The one thing that I actually had to go back and watch was the WireX presentation today, because there was no clear mandate to say when Dash would be integrated. They're integrating Dash, but there's no time to say when. When is this going to happen?
Yeah, what do you think this is right here? My WireX card, I've been using them longer than I think.
Hide that number. Hide that
card number.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's okay because they're throwing away the card. Because they had the Wavecrest problem. So this card is basically defunct anyway.
I see.
So what is the advantage of the WireX? What's the selling point of it over all the other?
I mean, so
over
first
the
off,
Charlie card and the 10X and all these other ones that we don't have.
Yes, which Charlie card still makes me think of Charlie Horse. Like, anyway.
We do have a little update on that. I think Mark got a little update. I saw email.
That was like last week, I think. But anyway, what's good about WireX is it's like an exchange and the card, right? And so I know people use it to load. I mean, right now it's Bitcoin, right? You load Bitcoin into your WireX wallet, and then can send it from there as like a normal Bitcoin wallet, and you can pretty much instantly load it onto your card. So if you have like a bunch of Bitcoin in your WireX wallet and nothing in fiat, like right as you're walking up to the terminal, you can just hit it, and then it takes like a couple seconds to load. But you can also unload it back. So it's like a two-way type thing. And the interesting thing about that is, they have the full verification and stuff, the whole AML KYC stuff we've come to know and hate. But they also have unverified cards, and they specifically kind of tongue-in-cheek, like wink, wink, say you can get an unverified card in dollars, euros, and pounds, and then an online-only in each of those. So you can get basically 6 cards without providing ID, and it's not necessarily the most efficient way. But you can just keep on getting new cards, new cards, new cards, and they kind of like encourage it even. So that's the reason I went to it.
Yeah, how much is those? Because I'm sure they have a limit of like $2,000 or something like that for those.
Well, that's what I wanted.
It was when I started, right? Things are rapidly changing, and then they've been very sort of upfront with me about. I mean, I've been talking to the CEO on Twitter a couple of times. I mean, depending on who answers the direct message, but they it was when I started, it was $2,500, like lifetime limit for no verification, and so that would be what 7,500 times 2, like 15,000 without, like, if you online and in person. I mean, online and physical. If you added it all up, right?
How much does it cost to get those? The temper, is it like $10, $15?
Yeah, like, it was like $14 when I got it per plastic, and then the virtual ones are free. So,
what are the other fees on that thing? What kind of fees they got?
I don't exactly know. I got to look it up, and I know that there's been some people who said that they went up like astronomically, and then someone who denied that, and I don't want to speak for them, but it seemed pretty reasonably.
It's a good option.
Interesting. They it's going to integrate instant send as well, which I thought was really nice.
And private send they mentioned, which is
private send,
odd.
Yeah. So that's pretty unique from our perspective. The reason why I missed that, I'm not even sure if I should be telling this story, is because I was working around the room as this presentation was going on, and I walked past the gents, and then Scott Farnsworth of Dash Aerosports came out the gents, grabbed me by the arm, and pulled me into the gents' toilets. Very strange experience, and yeah, it was a bit odd. And basically,
who was this?
So Scott Farnsworth, aka the Dash Racer.
Yeah, he wants to do a race to the loo, so you can finish first. I don't know.
But Scott, being the cool dude that he is, practiced what he preaches and went to the bathroom and tried to tip the attendant in there with Dash, and the attendant had like an iPhone wallet, and for some reason the attendant couldn't find the Dash iPhone app on his store. So like, I think Scott was. I thought it was just because it was me, but it was probably because I was the first person Scott saw. I was just like, hey, we've got to help this guy out. We need to tip him. So literally, there we are, standing in the men's toilets with all the urinals and everything. People walking and using the urinals, and we're downloading the Dash iPhone app. Literally, it was just user error. So like, we found the app, we installed it, and I think Scott recorded it as well. I'm presuming he shared it on Slack. So he's filming this video in the men's thing while people are doing their business, and we're like, oh yeah, we've got to send the thing. Oh yay, we all got it. And the bathroom attendant's just thinking, oh my god. But yeah, just so many little things like that happened that were just so funny. It was just such a crazy time. But yeah, it's that actually Scott actually changed the way I look at things. So I just talk to everyone about Dash now. I think you might have seen my Twitter post about talking to the Uber driver, all the taxis I got in London. I was talking to people. There's probably some other stories that Jeff and DJ Crypto would probably want me to tell, but I'm not sure it's suitable for the channel, to be honest.
Well, let's do something that's probably easy enough to report. How many drinks did you have in total? Like across the whole long weekend with other Dash people. Drinks on your own or other people doesn't count.
I don't know. But like we was working on time, but those drinks was always in the apartment. So it was always because a lot of the pubs close at 11 o'clock. And Jeff was really cool, and we could always like.
So wait, is this why did they close at 11 o'clock?
It's just the way the pubs work here. So because English people drink too much, so
hooligans.
Yeah. That's terrible. I mean, they're open till like I don't know, like 2 in New Hampshire, and that's kind of early. And the other places are like 3 to 4.
You can apply for a late license, but the problem was the venue where we were staying was on East London. It wasn't really central, and that kind of upset me a little bit because a lot of people visiting just came for the event and are staying nearby. And I just try and explain to people like, this isn't really London. You're on the outskirts. You're just on the residential area of the remnants of what the Industrial Revolution is. Like, please, if you do get the time, jump on a tube, go into Central, see something, because Don't just see this and go home.
You were in the center of Oliver Twist town.
Honestly,
I actually did that. I went to London and did the tourist experience. I kind of wish that I had stayed near the conference location just because I would have got more face time with my coworkers. But we absolutely did the tourist stuff. We saw Tower Bridge, Tower of London, Buckingham Palace. We went down to Piccadilly Circus and Oxford Circus area, had some good food in the kind of crazy melee down that way. Did a little shopping. We checked off London off our first-time tourist visit thing.
Yeah, and it was
looking
good,
up
right?
at tall buildings and rubbernecking like a tourist and everything. It was great.
Yeah, man. That's what I wanted to hear, because it seems like not a lot of people got that opportunity. I felt a bit bad with Jeff. Like, it's funny you should mention the beers. Yeah, we did have a few beers and all that sort of stuff, but I wanted Jeff to see a bit of London as well, and we just didn't get any time to do any of the tourist stuff. We actually had a lot of like business meetings and stuff, because literally, especially on the Monday and the Tuesday, you just get people. Dash is so well recognized now, and we were wearing the polo shirts and all sorts of stuff, and then basically people just pull you to the side and they was talking to you about everything. And the majority of the talks on Monday and Tuesday were people asking about our funding model, how the DAO works and governance. And like literally all these ICOs are going there and they're setting up these tables, and the people that could, well, perhaps afford sponsorship and go give talks are hoping that these angel investors or venture capitalists are just going to walk in and say, here you go, here's some money. And I don't think that probably the majority of them got funded at all. And then when you have these conversations with people and you say, well, you know, we go over 2 million a month for this, you know, all the funding that we do. And you explain how the system of governance and funding works. And they're just like, you know, a deer in the headlights. They're like, they can't compute it. They're like, oh, and you can see them thinking about changing their whole business model. I spoke to some people doing some sports, some VR, and I was just like, well, if you integrate Dash into that.
Next level. And I'll just take a little moment to talk about that, because we just put out an article today talking about how cool that was. There was this month, right, this coming month, October, 30 plus proposals getting funded by the Dash treasury. 30 plus equaling, I think, $2.1 million worth. And I also looked into the budgets for the top groups in the top teams under Dash, right? Dash Core, Dash Force, and then Dash Labs. Dash Labs didn't submit anything. Dash Force had its usual next month cycle, and Dash Core had nothing except for the marketing thing. And the three major organizations only accounted for 11% of that whole budget. So that's like a massive amount of budget that's just being paid to none of the big like long-termers in the Dash ecosystem. So it's not like, oh, it's these people, like the self-funding core team, they're just like lining their pockets, the scammers. Or it's not, well, them and a couple other organizations, you know, okay, that's a little bit decentralized. It's still kind of like these main pillars, and then everyone else gets scraps. Like, no, it's the big dogs that got the scraps. Everyone else got the meat, right? Just Dash is such a massive ecosystem right now. I don't think I'm starting to like, I have a hard time comprehending this, and I'm in the thick of it. I'm part of it. But anyone outside of Dash just kind of know they got a treasury or whatever. They have to let this sink in, right? They have to really let this like, wow, this is like the entire ecosystem is powered by this massive engine, and it's only growing bigger. Every little like, oh yay, my Litecoin went up a little bit, you know, my personal holdings, whatever. But with Dash, like everyone does that, and then the Dash ecosystem gets a massive power expansion, basically. Then they can just fund more incredible things and more incredible things. It just grows and grows and grows. And I think obviously we talk a lot about Ryan Taylor, Baby Giraffe's whole inevitability thing, right? But I mean, it's at this point where, I mean, we've been on the front lines fighting with arguing with trolls a lot online for a while now, but now it's like every time we do, there's a little bit less of a panic about it, because there's just really no stopping this at this point. I mean, it's past the tipping point, past the point of no return. I'm just really impressed, and I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. And yeah, it's amazing.
The allocation looks better than that, because I think we're going to have, we will have enough, we should have enough rollover like Core has, to where we won't have to have a proposal for this December. So it's even, the percentage is even less if you look at our rollover that we're going to have extra funding. So yeah, it's a very small percent. Yeah, so we should be able to roll over for December, and we should have plenty of funds.
So those watching already know that we're all, well, I'm a Dash maximalist. I'm a Dash fanatic. I don't own Bitcoin or anything else. I only own, in terms of crypto, Dash. And I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing if I didn't believe in Dash. But after the Dash conference, and I don't try to share too much about my personal life, but I think we may have mentioned it before on the Free Amigos that I have a bit of a comic book collection. And everyone has their sort of prized possessions sort of thing. And they're my biggest things of sentimental value. I've actually broke up with girlfriends over my comic books before. It's me or the comic book. And, I without sounding too much like an a-hole, the comic books won. But like after coming away from this conference, I was so blown away. I was like, it's not, they're going, I'm going to sell them. They're going on eBay. It's going to take a long time. So I've got a shed load of them, but I'm going to convert them into Dash because I've seen the future. I can see it now. This time next year, actually no, even before, up to June, when this thing launches, people don't even know about it yet. It's just going to be crazy. And for the longest time, I always look back and think, why didn't I buy more? Why didn't I buy more on every single dip? And I respect the core team because we know the core team don't do hype. They don't do hype or push speculation because they want steady growth. If you do speculation, you get very jagged fluctuations, right? So that's why they believe that approach. But obviously we're not core, right? And not that I want to get involved in the hype game, but from what I've seen and just speaking to the core team firsthand, guys, like I'm sold on this more than ever. Now I'm just like, not tattoo crazy, but now like Dash very centric. The comic books will be going. That's the biggest statement I could give.
How about
I could give?
Screw eBay. Why don't you sell them on Open Bazaar for Dash as soon as they integrate? Because that's coming soon.
I would do, but the problem is, in the UK, we don't really have as big a comic culture as you. I was kind of a bit odd growing up with comic books. Because in the States, you kind of got them in every corner, like comic book shops. In the UK, there wasn't really the same sort of culture. So it's a much smaller market.
Well, just jump across the pond to France. I mean, it's way bigger than even the US, right? The graphic novel kind of thing, bande dessinée, all that stuff. So it could be pretty big.
What's this about Open Bazaar integrating Dash?
Yeah, so Open Bazaar, no, directly it should be integrating Bazaar. Sorry, got my words mixed up. They should be integrating Dash very soon. I don't know exactly when, but it's soon, and they're starting to advertise it in the forums and Reddit, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
I guess I missed it.
So,
yeah, I missed it.
Yeah, it hasn't happened yet, but as soon as it happens, it's going to be. I downloaded the Open Bazaar client. I'm going to start messing around with that at some point, and then it'll be very fun to buy and sell just random things. Like
I don't think
like my mostly drunk pumpkin spice latte. I'll put that up, see if anyone wants to buy it. Have a souvenir value on my saliva or something. I don't know.
I've got to say these comments are cracking me up in the live chat, guys. Have you seen the stuff that's going on?
A lot of fun stuff.
Mark Mason, a Dash maximalist. Who would tell you?
Yes.
Mark has a feature on Big Bang Theory season 12.
Kool-Aid time.
Mark's selling his comics for Dash. This is huge news. Stop the presses. He ditches women for comic books. Like, what the hell is going on?
He ditches women for comic books.
That
should be on. So you see your title down at the bottom there, and your lower third says Dash Force News / International Outreach / Director of Media and PR. You should just say Mark Mason. He ditches women for comic books. You're gonna have to wear that.
You're right. I'm gonna have to change my Twitter bio. But
the man, the myth, the legend. He ditches women for comic books. Tweets are my own.
Is Open Bazaar? Are they integrating anybody else, or is it just Dash, or what's?
They're integrating a bunch of stuff. I think.
Okay.
I know they're at least Bitcoin at the very least.
Right.
I know they got Tor integration here recently. Are people selling pot on there, or is that a thing? Or
I don't know exactly. I think you can do anything. I think it's more geared toward legit type businesses, but I still think you can. I don't know.
now
I'm
that
pretty
they
sure
got
you can just
Tor,
sell anything.
now that they got Tor, I think you probably could.
So guys, I don't want to add to the hype, but and please don't read
Yes, you do. Shut up.
too much into this. But I've mentioned that I spoke to people in the community, I spoke to people doing ICOs, I spoke to business owners, but I also spoke to some very, very high profile individuals. I can't disclose too much because I don't want to go against their trust. I spoke to people that manage sovereign wealth funds for countries of emerging countries. I spoke to some world bankers, some regulators there. These people control and handle
Janet Yellen.
billions
What did you
of
say?
dollars.
Did you get her to buy Dash, the chairman of the U.S. Federal Reserve? Was she there? Does she have a Dash wallet now, thanks to you?
Ask me that question after when the podcast finishes.
Okay.
I've got something very similar to tell you, but I don't want to say it in live. So yeah, so literally these are the conversations that made me think buy comic books, because if we're bringing these, you know, was it Fernando said about bringing them, you know, my milkshake brings all the boys to the yard. When he did his little rap, that was brilliant. Oh, you tweeted that, didn't you, Joshua? That was hilarious.
As soon as he said it, I was like, "Wow, this is the quote for the conference."
Now, where did you talk to these people, Mark? At the Dash conference, or the other one after that?
So I have had multiple conversations. So
both.
Yeah, because literally after the first Dash conference, there's the social networking event also as well at like 7 till 10 p.m., which was the kind of the first social event for Monday and Tuesday as well. So people that were going to the ICO, you know, World Blockchain Forum events came to that as well, which Dash was the main sponsor for. I've got to tell you, it was really cool walking around Monday and Tuesday as well, because like Dash was kind of the main sponsor and people, you know, were looking around at us. I was rolling around with like August and stuff as well. I hope August doesn't mind me saying this. And I know he's still got his proposal open, but these guys are the future of Dash. I don't think he's going to take it up, but Bitmain, obviously, you know, the miners, they offered them an internship because that's how switched on these two kids are, right? And I don't, but here's the thing. August and Jacob are so cool. They see the future in Dash as well. And I don't think they're going to do it because they've got about 10 different proposal ideas and like, they know they're onto a good thing and they've seen the community and like they're so grateful because not only did we help them get there, we're nurturing them and bringing them in and answering those questions and showing their ideas, but also being receptive to their ideas as well. So we already know Dash is an opening, welcoming, giving community, but often we don't think about the future next generation, and these guys are going to be the lifeblood. These are the next gen, and these kids are going to be the next rock stars of Dash. I'm telling you now.
Yeah, you know how we know? You know how we know? Because they're going to take longer to die than we will, because they're kind of not as far along.
Yeah, so I'm really excited.
So you get bit by bit and how high quality it is. Just even if we hadn't met them and found out how cool they are in person, just the speed with which they assembled something of that quality is already enough to just.
Yeah, they were calling me late at night and stuff. Be like, "Oh, I got this idea. How about this? How about this and this?" And I told them to submit the proposal next cycle. And then they're like, "Oh, we got to do it this time." And then they did, and then it looks like it's going to be passing. So, good for them. I hope they can pull it off like in this sort of short notice. But I mean, some people, I know the entrepreneurial mindset like that is just go, 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 go. And any kind of, well, let's wait it out kind of thing is just a net negative always for some people. So yeah,
I
best.
said the same thing. I was just worried they weren't gonna, it was so close, but yeah, they pulled it off. Good for them. I didn't want them to burn their money. So I knew they would pass next time. Yeah, that's an expensive one. Yeah, that one's
coming in at the last second.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, I don't think that one's gonna. I don't think that one's gonna happen. It looks pretty cool though, but it's quite expensive.
Yeah, I'm still taken back by how many cool people, and also how people look at Dash as well.
Yeah,
they know. I really wish. I'm really looking forward to Keynote releasing the videos So on Monday, it was Monday, yeah. I think it was about 3:45. Ryan Taylor gave a 15-minute speech on the Monday, and I spoke to Ryan the day before, saying like, "Oh, so when are you talking tomorrow? What's the talk about?" And he was just like, "Oh, it's just a very small basic one, because probably a lot of people come and don't know about Dash, so it'll be very straightforward." So I wasn't expecting much, but that 15-minute talk that he gave, I thought was fantastic. I actually gave a couple tweets away with the graph of the growth and the numbers, because I thought they were so instrumental. But when the videos come out for that, I would definitely be retweeting that, because if there was anyone that was even remotely slightly interested about Dash or wanted to know what Dash is, that would be a great intro, just to say, look, 15 minutes, this is what Dash is, this is the vision, and this is why you should believe in the vision. And it just ticks all those boxes. So
there's more professional video production coming with proper microphones and all that stuff.
Yeah, so basically that's why me and Jeff were sort of huddled in the corner. So the mixer that we got, in that story in the day, the Mad Rush, we couldn't get the USB one because they didn't have it. So we had to do a makeshift one. And literally, like I said, we were panicking, doing everything last minute. Jeff couldn't take all this stuff with him, so we were just left with all this bloody equipment. So yeah, we was doing stuff at the side with the laptop, and obviously because we had plugged webcams.
So what you said is you robbed a Canadian. Is that what you're trying to tell us here?
Well, I mean, to be honest, I said to him I've got no use for it. I mean, if it was a USB one, I might be able to use it, but it's like a proper old school analog one. So it's just
sell it for Dash.
Yeah, no, exactly. Knowing him, he probably apologized. Sorry you had to steal that, eh?
It's not. I mean, it's not. I think it was only about £80, maybe $100 or something. So it's not but
not a whole Dash by a long shot.
No, definitely not. I could probably do with getting a better microphone though. So, but I don't know if it'll be worth doing it for that. But yeah, we'll see. So yeah. What else?
Is that mixer going to be used for you to record new music videos? I know they're a little bit of stuff of legend in the Dash community.
Oh wow, actually, that's a good idea. Do people want to see that? We could make that happen. I'm not sure I'm the best.
It's funny because the music video thing is very a polarizing thing. Some people really like it, and then a lot of trolls just that's the first thing they jump on.
I actually have a playlist.
I don't know. It is what it is.
I have a playlist of the 5 or the 6 Dash songs though. And sometimes when I'm doing the translation stuff, I'll play it. I actually said to Jeff he should use the YouTube playlist for the lunchtime break and stuff to play around. just for the audio.
Yeah,
I think some of them are really good. I'm biased, but I think they're pretty good.
That would be funny.
The one thing I will say, I was just going to talk about.
Imagine this first, right? What if you managed to pay off Uber to make sure, because at some point Dash is gonna have too much money to know what to do with, to just play all those songs on loop in every single Uber vehicle, mandated, and so that anytime any hater goes out, they just hear all the Dash digital cash.
Yeah,
that'd be a wonderful waste of money. But anyway, go on with your idea.
I would love Uber to integrate Dash more. I'd like that even more. And that was the thing when I was talking to the Uber driver. Was just talking about how technology has changed everything, and he was just talking about even taxis for his job doing the Uber thing. And I was just like, well, you can get 15% off Uber in America. And then that's when he turned around and he looked at me, and I was like, yeah, sure, Bitcard, boom, 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 easy. Go to Amazon, get your gift card. We want to go to Starbucks or whatever. And it was just like, really? I was like, yeah, really. And that's when people start turning around. But I just want to talk about Block Cipher. I had a fantastic conversation with Karen. Karen was the one that did the presentation. She was one of the speakers. She did a great job. And yeah, I asked her about quite a few things. And one of the things I asked her about was, what do you think? Ryan was banging the drum about this. He was banging the table.
Oh no. Coinbase?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. So I was just like, I don't want to disobey anyone's trust, but I mean, what is going on? Because I don't want to rock the boat, and I fully respect you because you're doing great things for Dash. But if there's no dialogue and there's no conversation going, I'm gonna gun for Coinbase 100%. I'm gonna go straight for them. But I don't want to ruin anything if you've got stuff going on. So tell me now if you've got something going on. I'll back away. I'll be respectful. But because, and I was just saying this, like, and she was just like, well, you know, yeah, we're having conversations with them. It's been going on for a long time. But the problem is with Coinbase is that they've got like 1 million users coming on every month, right? And they can't even handle the 1 million users. So they've got their hands full trying to facilitate that at the moment. But I was very happy to know that at least they're talking. So I don't have any juicy gossip other than that. But that was the one takeaway I got. And I just thought, great, it's not just hot air. It's not just fluff. There are actually conversations going on between them. So that's all we can ask for, really. So now I don't feel so bad. You know, I don't want to go like full force into Coinbase and just because it looks bad. Like if you're having professional calls behind professional talks, behind the curtain, and then we've got community members pestering them all the time. At least we know now that things are actually happening behind the scenes, whereas before it was just like a big question mark. So that was good.
Yeah, I'd like to see something happen quick.
Somebody mentioned in the YouTube comments asking Joel if you can talk about your BISC article for a little bit.
Oh
yeah. What about it?
I think is this coming about a lot of people were talking about that. There was an exchange recently. It wasn't CEX. It was like C-CEX. Some people got some, and there were someone sent me a couple of tweets about it yesterday where they lost some money. But I think the BISC article, Joel wrote a really good article a few weeks back now about why people should start to be looking to use decentralized methods of actually purchasing Dash, where the primary method at the moment is people using peer-to-peer to purchase Dash instead of using the big exchanges, because there are a number of issues that come from buying from exchanges. There's a risk element, there's a privacy element, there's all sorts of elements. And it was a really, really great article. I suggest you watch. It was only a couple of weeks ago. Joel, now we sort of jogged your memory. Do you want to chip in there?
Yes. So I'll just give the very quick rundown, start to finish. Right. Obviously, the crypto markets crashed a little while ago because of China's banning this, China's banning that. All the exchanges get all shut down in a tizzy, and that really highlights that the big choke point of crypto is everyone buys them off a centralized exchange. Like everyone, like 95% of the people I talk to are just like, oh, Poloniex and I got off of Bittrex and all. And there's nothing wrong with having these services, but people are so helpless. Like if they just took down these exchanges, all this decentralization, peer-to-peer, censorship resistance, that all stuff goes out the window immediately because how can you get any, right? And living in New Hampshire, where I can literally talk to dozens of people and just say, hey, you want to buy some Dash? And it just happens. Like I don't have to even use a decentralized exchange. I've kind of this weird, I've never used it. I've never used an exchange. I've never used a Bittrex, a Poloniex, never signed up for any of that stuff. The only exchange I ever used was Wall of Coins, which is a peer-to-peer trading platform. I used them for about a month, and then I closed my bank account, so I couldn't use them anymore. So anyway, we absolutely should start using peer-to-peer trading platforms. And as far as I know, there's two kinds of them that are out right now. There's the Wall of Coins / local Bitcoins /
Dashes,
liberal
Dash
coins,
nearby.
Dashes, Dash nearby. Those things, just a nice site that kind of connects users and then takes a small cut of and sometimes provides escrow services, right? That connects users for peer-to-peer trading. And that is a centralized site that runs these kinds of things. They have different centralized sites, but all the trading is peer-to-peer. So they can't just say, hey, Wall of Coins, you cannot operate in, say, India anymore. It doesn't. They'd have to physically block that website from going there. And even if they did, you could get around probably with some VPS type stuff, some VPN. But still, it's something it's really much harder to censor. And then you have the extreme end of that, which is BISC, formerly known as BitSquare, and that runs as a client, right? So we're like the Dash Core client. It runs as like a program, and it connects to a bunch of Tor nodes and stuff like that, and syncs the people up peer-to-peer. And so that's something you can't. It's pretty much uncensorable, right? The only way you could stop people from buying and selling off of BISC would be through banning the methods by which people would do the fiat transfers, right? Like you just have to ban all cash counter deposits, all, you know, wire transfers, all things like that, all the kinds of things that they do. And even then, it's like they could probably figure out a workaround. But anyway, unfortunately, the problem with the way BISC works right now, it's really strongly disincentivized to use it because so everyone knows Albert, right? Albert, the guy who works for Dash for us, helps with Discover Dash. So I had him help buy some of my Dash for Bitcoin, right, on BISC. And first off, so it's a little bit of a clunky interface to do. It's much more of a trader's interface, and not so much as like I just buy a thing. And unfortunately, they have very high collateral deposits, right? They don't have an escrow per se. You have to deposit do a deposit to make sure that you don't do anything like run off with the money. So they get pretty high. For example, I was selling 0.1 Dash. Albert was trying to buy it, and he needed to deposit 0.5 Dash in order to buy the 0.1 Dash with Bitcoin. And which is a little bit weird because if he's trying to get Dash, he might not even have any to begin with, right? And he has to put like 5 times as much as he's trying to buy. It's just like a really weird interface with that. And then what happens is they sort of set up the trade, and then you say, okay, I want to do it, and then you send the money here, and then they send the money there, and once it's concluded, now you have to withdraw your collateral to either the BISC wallet or an external wallet. And so there's just like a bunch of transactions. So every time you want to buy or sell, every time you want to sell crypto, you deposit money, and then you have to deposit again, and then you have to withdraw that, and then withdraw the other thing. And you can't just like have a deposit on file that just lets you freely trade, right? It's very clunky, and there was a rumor that they were going to start leveraging atomic swaps to be able to do crypto to crypto transfers really quickly. But then I thought I saw some update about, no, that's not going to be possible. So again, a lot of this stuff I could really, I could do just a long list of, you change this, change that, blah, 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 a bunch of things that would make it a nice, very usable platform. But I don't know how much of that is possible with the peer-to-peer Tor-enabled client that it is. Long story short, BISC is great to exist, and it's not usable if you're just going to go for the more centralized solution because it's easier. It's only usable if that's all you have.
Yeah, BitShares has had a in-wallet exchange for quite a while now. I remember using it over a year ago. I haven't used it in a long time, but they had stuff set up like BitGold, BitUSD. There was even talk of like BitDash that they would be able to trade. But they had the Chinese, the yuan or whatever on there as well. I haven't used it in a while. They've done a lot of great stuff. I don't know why they're so low in the market cap. One thing that I was thinking of, maybe a decentralized exchange will be a product on the Evolution platform, like Chuck was talking about. It could be an app.
Yeah, I think that'll be very
long time from now.
Implement. Yeah, you can implement Wall of Coins into that, for example. You could probably implement some kind of, other kinds of platforms too. And then, so like Wall of Coins is soon trademark, right? Coming to the Dash Android wallet, where it would be just like right in there. You could test that out. And I'm sure that on the Evolution platform, it wouldn't be that hard to do something similar. But yeah, that's the thing, is also some of these apps might be location specific, right? So like if you're in a different country, you might have a different app in your Evolution thing because this little exchange doesn't work there. And then, I might want to sign up for Coinbase so I can just buy my Dash and put it right in my Evolution wallet. But then someone else doesn't want to go through the AML KYC, put their bank account, all that stuff. And then they just put the Wall of Coins app as their fiat source to buy and sell Dash. So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, let's wrap up pretty soon, but let's, Mark, what was the update on the Charlie card? What was that? I saw some message or something.
Yeah, so the last update from Charlie was he just sent a tweet out saying that he's expecting to receive a sample card soon. He said that he was at the printers, which I would presume that means it's been approved if it's being printed, right? But I can't confirm that as of yet.
And what about 10X? What's their story? They're supposed to have something by the end of this year. They keep saying that. But.
Yes. So the narrative from 10X is still that by the end of the year, we'll have a solution for US residents, but there's been not much more on that. 10X has got problems at the moment, like every other cryptocurrency one, where it's being confined to Europe at the moment. And that's a really big thing. That's why Charlie Shrem's card's needed now more than ever, because it's MasterCard. So that should be separate to the Visa card issues that all these other cards are facing. One last thing, we haven't mentioned it yet. Darren from Festi made the announcement that 7,000, we'll get that fun going, 7,000 hubs in Ireland to accept Dash.
Oh.
You guys realize how big that is?
That's incredible.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about this. Anyway, Joel, I've got Darren's phone number. We're going to make this work. And also as well, so like, you know, the Festi, they've got the bands, right? Oh, I've still got my thing. Not taken off. I've been showering it and everything. So, yeah, like they've got the cards as well. Like they've actually got a card now as well. So they're not just restricting themselves to festivals. This is why I think it's really interesting. Dashforce needs to stay on top of it, because I think they've got a lot of things in the works, and I think people are going to be talking about Festi a lot in the future. 7,000 pubs, come on!
That's awesome. Yeah, in Ireland, I mean, God, that pubs, that's like their national whatever. What is what's the ETA on the WireX thing or WireX, or when's that supposed to drop?
This is it. So we this is where Dashforce needs to do a follow-up article. So basically, they made the announcement in the report, but they haven't actually said fees, dates. They've only said they're going to integrate. So it looks like it's a done deal, but we want the details to pass on to the community. So this is something that Dashforce will be looking into and doing an article on, because we want to give this information to the community ASAP. And also as well, that goes for Darren and Festi as well. We will be on top of that as well.
Lots of stuff coming. Exciting times.
Yeah, keep it locked. I spoke to the core team, was so fantastic, and it was really great to meet them in person. But actually, for the core team, there was a lot of the first time they actually got to meet each other, because they work remotely first time as well. And although some of them preferred to stay off camera, I had some very in-depth conversations. And as I've said before, my confidence for Dash was never in question, but it's so much higher than it ever was before. And there's a few articles that will be in the works over the next week or two, just from those meetings. The reason why they're not this week is because some of them stayed behind for a couple of days to work in some hired office space to really, really maximize the time they've got together. So as someone that loves Dash, I want them to do their thing, right? So that can wait, but we have got things in line that we'll be working on. And it was really great to make some of those contacts. Anyway, after party time, chaps. I think.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So, if you've been watching the last few weeks, you know the name of the game. Dashforce after party. Get yourself in the Dash Nation Slack. We will share a link. Join the after party hangout. We can only, because of restrictions of the Hangout app, it's the first 10 people, and then it's like in, out. So basically, first in, first come serve, right? So get yourself in the Slack now if you want to join. Thank you to everyone that has watched this podcast. We've got 43 viewers right now. The live chat has been absolutely banging throughout. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. I always forget to say that. As someone was saying to me at the conference, smash for Dash. So instead of smash that like button, now it's smash for Dash.
And remember, not only do you have to subscribe, but you have to hit the little bell button so you get notifications every time there's a new thing. That's like the double subscribe that YouTube's making everyone do now. So make sure you do that, because every time something comes out, oh wait, I forgot, here it is, and it shows up.
Yeah. Get that notification. Is that Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister? No, it's Dashforce. Make sure you do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not the Disruptmeister.
Yeah. Right. Okay, chaps. Any final words, or should we bust the move?
Stay dashy.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Stay
dashy.
That was the catchphrase of the conference. So
I wanted to
everyone, 3, 2, 1. Stay dashy, and we'll see you in 5. Catch you later. Say bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Love it.